Hey squad, welcome back to another video. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. If it is that you're a new subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome. So in today's video, I am joined by a special guest. I am joined by Sandie Heron. So she is an ALT in Japan and also an author. So she will be sharing with us her experience in regards to transitioning to the unknown. So as her book states, Journey to the Unknown. Welcome, Sandie.
Thank you so much, Akilia, for having me on your channel today. I'm very excited.
It's my pleasure. So today I want my viewers to know what it's like in regards to, let's say they're in Jamaica and they want to teach in Japan. Tell us about the process to teach in Japan. How did you find out about such opportunity, and what were the requirements in regards to teaching in Japan?
Okay, and that's a good question, Akilia. So there are many programs that you can apply to get to Japan to teach. For example, there is Interact, there is the JET program where you can go through the Jamaican embassy and or the Japanese embassy in Jamaica. And there are other companies, for example, BorderLink or Peppy Kids. For me, I went through Interact. And I had always been fascinated with Japan. I had a dream of being in Japan. And so I wanted to get here. And so what I did, I asked a friend of mine who had pictures of herself in Japan. We had gone to university together. And I just asked her, Akilia, I said, how did you get there? And she told me that she had applied to teach. And 2 weeks later, she sent me the link for Interact and told me that they were hiring. And all I did was to go on the website and fill in an application. And then when I started my application, I got an email from someone from the company to say that they had seen that, because I had not completed the application, but she emailed me to say that she had seen where I had started and she invited me to complete the process. So
wow,
I applied, and the first thing that I had to do, I had to go through a phone interview, and I passed that. And then I had to go to another meeting where I had to do a demo lesson, where I had a topic to present, and I had to have my cartridge paper and everything and go through that. And I was successful there. And then I had other documents to submit, for example, a police record, my personal documents, my qualifications from school. And so I had to go through those things, submitting paperwork until it came through.
Okay, and just want to verify, you're an ALT teacher there. Do you have to have like a degree in teaching for you to be qualified to teach in Japan?
No, you don't. It's advantageous, but you don't. As long as you have a first degree, then you can apply.
Okay, so a first degree in any discipline is okay, is suitable.
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So what was it like for you when you got that email or that message to say, okay, congratulations, you are successful and they have a placement for you? What was that like for you? Walk us through that.
I breathed a sigh of relief, Akilia, because I was waiting and I had been waiting for months. And my situation was a little bit peculiar because I was in Jamaica and I was working as a paralegal back home. And I felt as if my time at the firm where I was working was up. I just felt like I had come to the end of that journey. And so I had been praying to God for my next step. And I felt as if Japan was the next place for me to go. And so, girl, I was waiting on that email. So when I finally got it to say that I had been successful, and not only that, when I got a follow-up email to say, you know, where I would be placed, I was placed in Sendai. which is in the
Thank
northern part of Japan. I was so excited. I was on the internet Googling to see where is this place, and I was just looking forward to it.
Okay, actually, why were you so elated about that particular area?
It wasn't about the area itself. It was just the fact that I was told that, okay, this is a place where you will be living. So had I told any other place, whether Tokyo or Yokohama, I would have still been excited. But just the fact that I had been placed in a prefecture, it started to feel more real for me.
Oh, okay. All right. But for our viewers who may not be able to say what's a prefecture, can you explain? Is it
in Jamaica, we have 14 parishes. The prefectures would be like the parishes in Japan.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What was it like in regards to adapting? Okay, so now you're in, or let me go back a bit. Now you are getting ready to go to Japan, all right? Okay, so I was placed here and it's time for me to get ready. What were some of the advice that you got in regards to transitioning now to Japan?
Okay. So I had the task of packing up my entire life into 2 pieces of luggage. And what a task that was, because I couldn't bring
task, right?
Girl. I couldn't bring all my favorite pairs of shoes. You certainly could not bring all the clothes in your closet, right?
Definitely
let me tell you a joke, Akila, before I even answer your question. So I brought my pair of Bridget sandals. And you know, in Jamaica, a pair of Bridget sandals is big thing in Jamaica, right?
Definitely.
I sandals to the very rural area where I lived. And let me tell you, when I wore that sandal, it was just a rose. So you know the rose exposes your foot. When my Japanese mother saw that sandal, she started laughing.
Why?
Because she had never seen a sandal like that before. Because every area where I lived, they wore sneakers with their socks. So here was this
culture change.
Yes, here was this island girl coming in our Bridget Rose. Like, where are you going? And so when I was packing, like I could have left to that, but one of the things, one of the advice that I was given was that I should certainly take warm clothes, because in the northern region, especially when it gets down to fall and winter, it's very cold and the temperature can drop even below 0. So I had to get my heat-tech clothing. And of course, I had to take professional wear as well. So I had to take a black suit or a gray suit with me. And not only that, Japan is a little bit peculiar in terms of they have indoor shoes and outdoor shoes. So it's not like at home where the shoes that you wear outside, if you go to school, then that's the shoes that you wear inside. In Japan, you have your shoes that you wear outside. When you get at the front, you have to take it off and switch into another pair of shoes.
Wow. So that's something that you do every day? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that I had to prepare. I don't think I was as prepared with bringing things from home. For example, my seasonings. So I never brought a little pack of curry and a little bottle of browning, which I regretted so much when I moved.
Oh man. Okay.
But everything else I had.
Okay, so all right, you mentioned you weren't able to bring those things, but is it difficult in regards to like shipping, exporting, and importing? Is it difficult?
Yeah, it's not difficult. I remember my sister, when I ran out of hair products, for example, my sister sent me a little box with my Cantu shampoo and conditioner. And a friend of mine sent me a box with goodies, with crackers and like cock soup and coconut milk and things like that. So it's not hard to get through the post office. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I was actually told that, I'm not sure if you can verify for me, but I was told that in Japan, when you're moving to Japan and you're going to rent an apartment, you need to give the landlord I think it's half of the rent to say thank you for renting me your apartment. Is that true?
That might be true for some people, but it's not the same for everyone. So, for
Oh.
example, from my experience, it's similar to back home. You have to make a deposit, and that's like your
Mhm.
key money, but your deposit is given back to you upon moving out. So it's like security for the place. If there is any damage, if they inspect the property when you're about to move out and the apartment is damaged, then you lose that deposit. But if everything is fine, you get your deposit back. So not
Oh,
everyone's deposit is taken.
okay, because to my understanding, it didn't, based on what I was told, it wasn't a case where it's a deposit. It's more like, oh, I rented you my apartment, so you need to give me to say thank you. I'm thanking you for renting me, the tenant, your apartment. So thank you so much for verifying that, Sandie. No, you moved to Japan with the intention of teaching. That's what you that was the whole purpose of you going to Japan. Now, what was it like for you now going into the classroom, seeing the children? Did you have any prior teaching experiences? What was it like for you? I mean, what were the thoughts?
What were the thoughts? I was excited to go to school. So when I first started, I taught elementary school. So similar to
Okay.
you, from ages 6 to 12. And then I also taught at one junior high school. So especially for the kids, I think that was my most fruitful, most fun experience in the classroom because they were so excited to see you. Like you would go to the classroom and you would just have these bright, shiny eyes just looking at you like, oh my God, who is this? And so
Yes.
it was just a blast to sing, even if it was singing ABC or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was fun for me. I looked forward to that. At the end of the day, you're tired. You are tired, but it was so fun. So I had no anxiety where that is concerned. It was a beautiful experience teaching the kids.
Okay, okay, that's wonderful. That's good to hear that you enjoy your job and what you're doing and how it is that you're inspiring and making a difference in the children's life. No, so would you say that adapting was easy? Talk to me about like the language barrier. Did you have any prior knowledge in regards to the language? Did you know how to speak or did you know little words? What was that like for you?
Well, shame on me because I moved to this country without any knowledge, well, little knowledge on how to speak Japanese, right?
Okay.
So beyond maybe being able to introduce myself or being able to say hello or how are you, I was not able to speak fluently. And
Oh,
now I live in Tokyo, but before I lived in a rural area and there were not many foreigners and there were not many opportunities for me to meet people who could speak English. And so from the get-go, I was immersed into the culture with the language, with food, with everything. But it's interesting that now I value that experience and I am happy that I went through it.
definitely. Sometimes we have to go through the tunnel to see the light. So how would you describe yourself in regards to your level with the language?
I'm not fluent, I am still learning. But after 3 years, I have, I think for the most part, mastered my day to day. I know how to do
Wow.
yeah, whether it's gesturing, like you gesture to save your life, or it's
Yes.
using Google Translate, or the interesting thing, things like going to the grocery store, because you
Mhm.
do it so many times, even if you're not able to repeat what someone is saying to you, because you have had
Yeah.
an experience before, you know what they're asking. So if you buy,
Yeah.
for example, if you buy food at the convenience store, you go up to the
Mhm.
counter, you give them the money. The person who is cashing looks at you, looks at the food and says something. Because you've gone
Yeah.
through it before, they're asking, do you want me to heat it up in the microwave for you? you know?
Yeah.
So just by repetition and just the context of the situation in which you're in, it helps you to understand what is going on. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I just get it.
Girl, I can resonate with you. It's relatable. I remember I am also in a country that I do not speak the language, and it's so bad to say. It's good that you're able to understand based on your previous experiences. You know what it is that they're saying, whether you will be able to gesture or whatever the case may be. Know one or two words. You may not be able to speak a full sentence, but that's good. For me, my Chinese is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. It's so bad, believe you me. And that's something that I want to change. I mean, I cannot be in the country for so long and my Chinese is so bad. So I am really trying to see if it is that I can work on improving. I may not be fluent, but at least I will be able to have a little conversation here. Be a country in which that you can say I can make a life here.
That's a very good question. Let me take a minute just to ponder that, or a second. I don't know what is in store for me in the future. I mean, Japan is a beautiful country. There is so much to see and there is so much to do. But it's interesting that after 3 years, it still does not feel like home. And
Totally.
home, I don't mean Jamaica, but I just mean that place where your heart is at rest. One, you still feel so very different. And I think that sense of being so different, it never goes away. And so if
Okay.
you're thinking of, settling down, getting married, having your children, that is something that you always will have to contend with. You will always have to contend with being in a space where you are the outsider, and sometimes that becomes very apparent. And so for those reasons, even though it's wonderful to consider it home, to settle and make a life, I'm not so certain at this point.
Okay, I definitely understand what you're saying. Remember, I am here too, so I can relate. I understand what it is that you're saying. No, no, we have been through what it was like the process for you transitioning in the classroom. Now, for those Jamaicans back home, or maybe someone abroad or different country who wants to teach in Japan, what are some benefits that you can outline to them in regards to teaching in Japan? Give us an idea.
Yeah, I think for the most part, especially for like Interact, and even then, I think the salary is very similar. So there are
Okay.
persons leaving from their country who they have a teaching certificate, or they have been teaching for, let's say, 10 years, and they will be in the same pool with someone who has no teaching experience. And in terms of the salary, it is similar. It is the same. There's nothing to say, oh, because you have more teaching experience, then you are gonna be paid more. And I think it's important for people to know those things so that they can level or manage their expectations. In terms of the salary, what I would say, it depends on where you are placed. So for example, persons who are paying rent in the rural areas may be paying less than, for example, someone who lives in a bigger city, for example, Tokyo or even Osaka, right? So at the end of it, what they would take home from their salary would perhaps be more. But on average, I think like average maybe $3 million per year would be what an average teacher who is coming on these programs would make.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And now let's get on to what is, after being in Japan for 3 years. I mean, I may need to ask this before I proceed. Have you been back home or no?
No, I have not been back home since I've been here. So it's been 3 years. Have you been back home?
No, I haven't. I'm starting to feel nostalgic.
Yes.
I have not been back home. Okay, now being in Japan, now what is like your biggest accomplishments being there? What would you say is your biggest, or one of, maybe if it's too private, you can say one of your biggest accomplishments since being there?
Okay, so one of my biggest accomplishments would be writing and publishing my first book. And I have a copy here, Journey into
Okay.
Unknown.
Can
Find
you focus it a bit so I can see it? It's a bit blurry, okay?
it
Wow, that's nice. Lovely. Now tell us, what is it about?
is about my journey to Japan, yes, but more
Mhm.
specifically, what happened before I made the journey. So, having to resign from my job, having to withdraw from school, having to leave my place of comfort and familiarity to move into this unknown. And also, I shared everything that I learned throughout the process and what I would say to others.
It's wonderful. I'm so proud of you. Where can we get your book though? Where can we get it?
Okay, so the book is available on Amazon in all territories. I'm not sure how it works for China, but it would be great. So
Yes, it will.
yeah, it's available on Amazon in all territories. And if you
Mhm.
are in Jamaica, it is at York Pharmacy in Kingston. And for my lovelies in Japan, I have copies here, so you can get your signed copies delivered to you by JP Post.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy. That's so wonderful. Like you wrote a book. That's so inspiring. You have many people who are there probably writing down notes, jotting down things, wanting to write their own books, and they're not encouraged, or, they maybe feel depressed or frustrated in regards to the entire process of writing their own book. So hopefully you can be able to stand as a motivator, rather, to motivate them to start their journey into it. And was it published in Japan though?
Yeah, well, I published it while I was here and I worked with a publisher in Jamaica. But I mean, yeah, I did the process while I was here.
Okay. All right. Well, that is wonderful. That's so good. And before I close though, is there anything that you want to say to those who want to come to Japan? Any advice you give them?
Any advice I would give them to manage your expectations, right? And also to remember that your journey is unique. A lot of times before we or we embark on a journey, we will ask someone else, well, how was it for you? What was the experience like for you? And then what will happen is that we will expect that our journey will be the same. But it's important for us to know that we're all individuals, and what one person experiences, whether good or bad, it does not have to be your experience. So if it's something that you want to do, by all means, step out in faith and expect good things to happen.
Thank you so much for that. That's well received. Even for myself, that's received. And I just want to say, guys, you can follow Sandie on her Instagram page. I will leave the handle down below somewhere, wherever. Also, she has a YouTube channel. You can also follow her. Her name is Sandie Heron on YouTube. So please go over and show her some love. It's good when we can be able to support each other. So please go ahead and show her some love. If you're able to purchase a book, please do so as well, because it will be inspiring. It will motivate you to start whatever it is that you may want to start. Sometimes we have plans, and that's what we leave it as. We leave it as plans. We're not executing the plan. So it's good when we have persons who step out and do what it is that they want to do. That motivates us as well. So guys, if you can show her some love, show her some support, go ahead, purchase her book, follow her on Instagram and on YouTube, subscribe, show her some love. Okay, guys? And Sandie, just want to say thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this video. I really appreciate it. I am sure my viewers and subscribers learned something, and hopefully they will be able to take what we said and put it on some vision board or something. Okay? All
Absolutely.
right. So That's it for this video today, guys. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.